1. Setting. Page. Page. Ears travel cards. Resume.
To
Ears
go
travel
back to the
card.
main
Direct
menu,
touch area.
swipe up with 3 fingers.
Use the
Resuming
roller
road
to
trip.
enable direct touch for this app.
1,500 miles.
Voiceover off.
It's your turn. Draw a card. 100. New top. 100. You drew 50 from the deck. You cannot play 100 because your speed is limited to 100. Repairs. 50. You cannot play 50 because you must play a go. 70. 50. You have traveled 25 miles. Power card. Power gas. Your speed is limited to 50. You cannot go until a go card is. You cannot play 50.
Mariel has traveled 1,000.
1. New. 1. You played go. New. 1. 1. 7. 50. You drew end of limit from the. You cannot play 50 because you must play a go. End. You played end of limit. 1. 1. New. 1. You drew crash from the deck. New. 1. 50. 7. 50. Crash. You played crash on Mariel.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played speed limit on you.
You drew 70. 50. 7. 50. You cannot play 50 because 7. You discarded. You drew power go. Power go. You played power go.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played power tire.
It's your. You drew 75 from the 50. You played 50.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel discarded 200.
Repair. 100. You drew 50 from the deck. You played 100.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played power repairs.
Repair. You drew repairs from 100. You played 100.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played go.
You drew 200 from the. You played 200.
Mariel drew
75. 50. You drew go from the deck. Now 1. New. 100. You played 100.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played crash on you.
You drew end of limit from the deck. 50. Go. Repairs. You played repairs. You drew go from the deck. You cannot play end of repairs. You cannot play repair. 50. 70. 75. You played 75. You drew new tire from 50. You played 50. You drew more gas from the deck. 50. You played 50.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played 50.
You drew repairs. Go. 7. Repair. 70. You played 75.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel discarded more gas.
You drew new tire. Go. Repair. New tire. Go. End of. Go. New tire. More gas. Repairs. New tire. You discarded. You drew out of gas from the. Out of gas. You played out of gas on Mariel.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played more gas.
It's your turn. You drew 70. New tire. 75. You played 75. You drew go from the deck. You have traveled 900 miles. And played 200 miles cards. Power card. Power gas. Power card. Power go. New tire. Go. You played go. You drew 100. 100. You played 100.
Mariel drew a card from the deck. Mariel played 25.
Using 1 coin to play. Starting game 4. Dealing your cards. Dealing Amy's cards. Dealing a card to discard pile. You have 8 cards. 100. 50. Go. 25. End of limit. 50. Crash. 25. Discard pile. Top card is go. It's you drew 25 from. You cannot play 150. Go. You played go. You drew 50 from 50. 100. You played 100.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played 25.
You drew 50 20. End of 50. Crash. You played crash on Amy.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played out of gas on you.
You drew 100, 20, 50, 50, 100. You discarded. You drew 50 from 50. You discard. You drew more gas. More gas. You discarded. You drew crash. Crash. You played crash on Amy. You drew 70, 70. You discard. You drew flat tire. You cannot play flat tire because Amy cannot go. 25. You discarded 25. You drew 100 from the. You cannot play 50. You discarded. You drew more gas from. More gas. You played more gas. You drew more gas. 100. More gas. 1. Flat tire. You played flat tire on Amy.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played new tire.
You drew go from. Go. You played go. You drew more gas. More gas. You cannot. 100. You cannot play 100 because you must. 50. You have traveled 100 miles. You cannot go until a go card is played. More. 1. 20. End of limit. You discarded end of limit. You drew more gas. More gas. More gas. You discarded. You drew repairs. Repairs. You discard. You drew speed limit. Speed limit. You played speed limit on Amy. You drew 200. More gas. 200. More gas. You discard. You drew 100. 100. You discard. You drew end of limit. End of limit. You cannot play. You discard. You drew stop. Stop. You played stop on Amy.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played go.
You drew 75. 100. 75. You discarded. You drew out of gas. You played out of gas on Amy.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played more gas.
You drew 50. 100. You discarded. You drew 100. 100. You discard. You drew 100 from the deck. 100. You discard. You drew 200. 200. Here are the remaining cards in the deck. Distance 50. 2 cards. Distance 100. 3 cards. Repairs. 3 cards. Speed limit. 1 cards. Distance 75. 5 cards. New tire. 4 cards. Power go. 1 cards. Power tire. 1 cards. End of limit. 1 cards. Distance 25. 4 cards. Power gas. 1 cards. Go. 4 cards. Distance 200. 1 cards. You cannot play 200. 50. You discarded 50. You drew speed limit. You played speed limit on Amy. You drew power. 200. Power go. You played power go. 200. You drew new tire from the deck. You played 200. You have traveled 300 miles.
Amy has traveled 870.
You drew 20. 200. New 200. You played 200. You drew power tire. 25. You played 25. You drew new tire from
Voiceover on. Ears travel cards. Play or play button. Play or discard. Play, discard. Play.
You cannot play new tire
Voiceover
because you don't
off.
have that You cannot play new tire because you discarded new tire.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy discarded go.
Power tire. 5. Power tire. You drew 25 from the deck. You played power tire.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy discarded new tire.
It's your turn. You drew 75. 25. 75. Discard pile top card is new tire. You have traveled 525 miles. And played 200 miles cards. Power card power go. Power card power tire.
Amy has traveled 875 miles. And played 200 miles cards. Power card power.
25. 75. You played 75.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy discarded repairs.
You drew go from the deck. Go. 25. You played 25. You have traveled 625 miles.
Amy has traveled 975 miles. And played 200 miles cards. Power card power repairs.
You drew end of limit from the deck. End of. You cannot play. You discarded end. You drew 100. 100. You played 100. You drew go from. Go. You played. You drew 25. Go. New tie. 25. You played 25. You drew 25. 50. You played 50. You drew 75 from the deck. You have traveled 800 miles. And played 200 miles cards. Power card power go. Power card power tire. 50. You played 50. Out of cards. Moving discard pile to deck and shuffling the deck. You drew end of limit from the deck. Now select a card from your hand to play or discard. 25. You played 25.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy discarded 50.
You drew 100. 20. 70. End of limit. 100. You played 100.
Amy drew a card from the deck. Amy played 25.
You scored 975 points for distance, 200 points for power cards, and 0 points for power-ups.
Amy scored 1,500 points for distance, 100 points for power cards, and 0 points for power-ups. Amy scored an additional 400 points for a completed trip. Amy's total score is 2,000 points.